بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين والعاقبة للمتقين ولا عدوان إلا على الظالمين والصلاة والسلام على خير خلقه محمد وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين. ربنا تقبل منا إنك أنت السميع العليم وتب علينا مولانا إنك أنت التواب الرحيم واغفر لنا ذنوبنا وكفر عنا سيئاتنا وتوفنا مع الأبرار. Wallah, we ask you humbly from the bottom of our hearts to accept our day of fasting and to reward every single one of us who is striving hard to do these righteous deeds, to help the community, to feed the poor, to feed the needy. And we ask you for the acceptance, Ya Rabbil Alameen. Right at the beginning of tonight's session about tafsir, I want to update our community members about a message that I put yesterday on Facebook and also on the WhatsApp group. And it is about reaching out to a tribe, a native tribe located at White River. And this tribe is called Apache tribe. They are in need right now because of the coronavirus. We have one of our sisters here, Sister Cheryl, who is a member of UICA board, and she comes from that place over there. And I mentioned in the video that when we help these individuals there, we're showing that Islam is a religion of peace, and also Islam is a religion that reaches out to the other people regardless of their faith, regardless of their nationality and their color and their languages. So Islam goes beyond with this message of help. So this coming Thursday or Friday at 6:15 p.m. to 7 p.m., you can come and you can bring here cans, food cans. And inshallah, on Saturday, Sister Cheryl with a few people, they're going to go to White River and distribute to those people who are afflicted there in that city because of the coronavirus. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala reward every single one of you who's going to be a part of this effort. So we're approaching the last 10 days of Ramadan. And tonight, as a matter of fact, is the 20th night. Tomorrow is going to be the 20th day, but tonight is the 20th night. And according to the hadith of the Nabi sallallahu alayhi wasallam, you're all aware that أوله رحمة, أوسطه مغفرة, وآخره عتق من النار. The beginning of this month is the beginning of mercy. The middle of this month is the middle of forgiveness, and the end of it is the liberation or sending away many servants of God from the hellfire. So we want to benefit as much as possible during these 10 nights. And normally we have i'tikaf. I'tikaf is a very important concept in Islam. It's an important practice as well. As many of you know, i'tikaf is a kind of an isolation for the sake of God, getting engaged with nothing but worship. And we know the rules, and I'm not going to go through the rules of i'tikaf much, but I just want to mention a few things so we can have an idea what i'tikaf is, and we're also going to relate it to the days that we live in right now. Is it doable or isn't it doable? So first, I can mention that for man, i'tikaf is permissible only in the masjid. And for female, i'tikaf can be in the place at home. She considers it as her small masjid, if we may say so, at home. And or in her room, she can choose to be there most of the time and focus on worship, leave everything else that is not important, and just focus on that. Scholars, they have ruled out, they have spoke about this. They mentioned that if a person goes in the masjid and performs i'tikaf, that person can exit the mosque only if it is for something that is considered to be emergency or very essential. For example, if you get sick and you need to go to the hospital and come back again, that is okay. If you need to go to work, there is no way for you to leave work, and that's the only source of income for you. You cannot afford to leave it. Then you go, you perform your duty at work, and then you come back again to the masjid and you continue with the i'tikaf. But other than that, the time should be spent wisely and should be spent, either in prayers, du'as, recitation of the Quran, dhikr, and all of these good things. Now, the question is, how can we approach i'tikaf? By the way, before I get to that question, i'tikaf can be, especially according to the Hanafis too. There is a difference among the scholars of the madahibs, but even if you spend 5 minutes, let's say, in the masjid, you can do the intention of join it as i'tikaf. For example, you can say nawaitul i'tikaf. As long as I am here in this mosque, for example, 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 1 minute, 2 hours, whatever the case may be, I intend to perform i'tikaf. Even if it is outside of Ramadan, that is still permissible. Or if it is during Ramadan, you can still say the same thing. So it can count as i'tikaf. But here we're referring to the if I may say so, to the real one. I mean, everything is real for sure. All the other i'tikafs that you may be doing, they're very rewarding, and they are i'tikaf. But we're referring here to the i'tikaf of Ramadan, which is very special. And in particular, the last 10 days, sunnah. They are not mandatory, but it is a sunnah. But it is a sunnah, sunnah kifaya. So it is a sunnah, even though there is a sunnah kifaya, like there is a fard kifaya as well too. So as long as a person does it in the community, that is that has established that sunnah in that community too. That's the meaning of that kifaya, and ayn is based on individual basis. But yeah, I mean, that would be something good. But now again, going back to that question, how can we do it during these times? And I have heard there are scholars who are saying that do it at your home and it will be counted as i'tikaf, and they have ruled that out. I personally would find it very difficult to rule it out and to say that this is going to replace i'tikaf, because we know that i'tikaf is done at the masjid. Again, I am choosing the words very carefully here. I'm not jumping to saying that it doesn't count at all. It's ultimately in the hands of God, but I don't think that we have the right to say that if you do it at home, it's going to count for sure as i'tikaf. Yeah, we can definitely advise people to do something like that, to isolate themselves at their homes, especially during this time of quarantine that a lot of people, anyways, they are staying at home. So why not do the same thing that you would be doing in i'tikaf in the masjid, do it at home? Because this would serve a great purpose. And inshallah, if you hope and you ask God to receive the rewards of i'tikaf while you're in the masjid, inshallah you will receive it as you have done the i'tikaf. But to rule it out and to say that because of this situation you do i'tikaf at home and it's going to count exactly as i'tikaf in the masjid, that would be very hard to say something like that. Again, I would be very careful personally, and I would not consider for a man who does i'tikaf at home as the same as doing it in the masjid. That would be my approach towards this one. We are in these last 10 days of Ramadan, and one of the things that I would like to remind every one of you is to increase as possible the dua, the supplication that Prophet Muhammad alayhi salatu wasalam used to make. Allahumma innaka afoon tuhibbul afwa fa'fu anna. Again, Allahumma innaka afoon tuhibbul afwa fa'fu anna. Or you can say fa'fu anni. If you have many people who are joining you in this dua, you can say fa'fu anna. If it's just you, you can say fa'fu anni. What is the meaning of this dua? We hear it all the time. Allahumma innaka afoon, oh God, you are the one who pardon. Tuhibbul afwa, and you love to pardon. Fa'fu anni, therefore pardon me or forgive me. And as you can see, subhanallah, the beginning of something good that you plan to do, it starts with asking for forgiveness. It starts with a purification of any mistakes, even the end, it ends with asking for the acceptance and at the same time asking for you to be purified. Why? Well, because even during the acts of worship that you may do, there might be a chance where you are simply entertaining your carnal self, your nafs. Throughout other times beside Ramadan, devil may get involved and may whisper in your mind and say, you know what, you're doing this thing, but how great this is for you. You are showing in front of these people that you are a courageous person by donating so much. And all of a sudden the feeling inside of you comes like, you know what, yeah, I am somebody, I am doing something great for the community and I need to be recognized for that. So you just opened, or shaitan whispered you, and you opened to yourself a door for riyah, a door for show off in front of the people. So now you can see, right, you started this act of, because it's an act of worship, you started this with a good intention. And you started this, for example, by asking God to forgive you for any shortcomings. You're repenting to God. And then later on, you are getting involved with that good thing, that good act. But then as that is taking place, shaitan is playing with you, or your nafs is playing with you. And as a result, you are earning a sin instead of earning a good deed. Or maybe you're earning a good deed and you're earning a sin at the same time. Therefore, by you asking God to purify you and to forgive you for any shortcomings that you might have demonstrated or you may have adopted during that time when you were fasting in this case, or when you're doing i'tikaf, whatever the case may be, at the end, asking Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for forgiveness, it is as you're saying, oh God, I recognize that I had a good intention, I tried to fulfill my deed here, I tried to do this, but I know that there was a possibility for my nafs to kick in and to start destroying some of my deeds that I have done during Ramadan. Maybe it was my nafs that wanted me to speak bad about the people. Maybe it was my nafs that wanted me to show off in front of the people. Maybe it was my nafs that wanted to be very stingy and not to be generous, not to be kareem as you recommend me to be. You know, so all of these things are, of course, considered to be among the nuqsan, among these shortcomings. But when you're asking at the end, when you're asking Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for an acceptance, and at the same time you're asking Him to, you're asking for forgiveness, then you are really, you're hitting the target right there. Therefore, again, I'm connecting it to the dua that the Nabi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam used to make. Allahumma innaka afuun tuhibbul afwa fa'fu anni. Oh Allah, you are the one who pardons. You love to pardon the others. Therefore, pardon me as well. And if you are pardoned, and if those deeds are accepted, because here's the thing, when you do those shortcomings, it is possible that those shortcomings, they're going to spoil all of those good deeds. And that's the thing, that's a bad thing right there. But if you have somebody who's going to pardon you those shortcomings, then you are going to God, you're going to Him. And when I say if you have somebody, I'm referring to God. So you're going back to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, not just pure and not just forgiven, but you're going to Him with righteous deeds. You're going to Him with an accepted fasting. You're going to Him with an accepted reading of the Quran. You're going to Him with a different understanding of Islam. And on a daily basis, we're holding these lectures in order to benefit ourselves and to grow in understanding about Islam. So when you grow in understanding about Islam, you're also receiving good deeds right there. So Quran recitation, praying with the family, engaging your family in doing righteous deeds and all of that. This is all positive. And lastly, I would like to mention to you also the importance of getting closer to the family during these last 10 days of Ramadan. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم يا أيها الذين آمنوا قوا أنفسكم وأهليكم نارا وقودها الناس والحجارة عليها ملائكة غلاظ شداد لا يعصون الله ما أمرهم ويفعلون ما يؤمرون يا أيها الذين آمنوا توبوا إلى الله توبة نصوحا عسى ربكم أن يكفر عنكم سيئاتكم ويدخلكم جنات تجري من تحتها الأنهار يوم لا يخزي الله النبي والذين آمنوا معه نورهم يسعى بين أيديهم وبأيمانهم يقولون ربنا أتمم لنا نورنا واغفر لنا إنك على كل شيء قدير. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in Surah Al-Tahrim, He begins by saying, He doesn't begin the surah, but begins the ayah by saying, O you who have believed, fear the hellfire. Fear for yourselves and for your families the hellfire, whose fuel is going to be made up, or that flame is going to come as a result of the burning of the stones and also the human beings. So this is a very horrific picture that is being given to us in this surah, Surah Al-Tahrim in the Quran. And then later on it says, so again, this ayah, it calls for yourselves and also for your families. So we should be concerned about our families. And if we know that the night of Qadr is going to be in one of these last 10 nights of Ramadan, and possibly is going to be on an odd number, like 21st, 23rd, 25th, 27th, 29th. These are important nights and days, of course, to keep, to pay our attention to. And not to lose, as Sheikh Ahmed and Sheikh Ninawi earlier, they were speaking, they were saying, not to lose the chance for us to do these righteous deeds during these days. Indeed, the true loser is the one who loses these opportunities. The true loser is the one who loses these opportunities. And the winner is the one who was able to, win through these opportunities that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is throwing at us. As he mentioned, ayyam ma'adudat. These are specific days, these days of Ramadan, especially towards the end. And let me tell you one thing too. When you are working with yourself and when you're putting that effort, especially in the last 10 days and nights of Ramadan, you're showing to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that you care. And He loves that. He loves to see that you are, look, even if it's not coming straight from your heart, because sometimes people say like, well, I don't feel like, I'm tired, I fasted so much, I tried to pray here and there, and I'm just tired, man. I had this whole Ramadan and I have, another 10 days, I can't wait till it's over because, this is hard and I'm working and coming back home tired and blah, blah, blah. People, they have all these kind of excuses and sometimes, they're right. Sometimes they just make them up and they exaggerate things, but sometimes they're right too. They do get tired. They, it can be challenging for a lot of people. But now, show to God that even though you may be tired, even though you're looking forward for this to end because it has been a great challenge for you, right? For some, not for everybody. But work with yourself, like teach yourself, because God is not going to judge you for that. God is going to judge you based on your outcomes, based on your deeds. What are you going to put forth? So teach yourself and say, you know what? Have this inner dialogue between you and your nafs. All right, Ramadan is going to end. There is only 10 days left. Let me, I know it's hard for me. I know that I've been through a lot. There were, days when I was so thirsty. Working out there is not easy. Dealing with certain individuals during fasting for sure is not easy. And, it tests our patience for sure. But you know what? I'm gonna push it. And I'm gonna try to do way better than I did before. I'm gonna push myself. I'm gonna be smart about it at the same time. I'm not gonna push it when I know that I'm gonna break. I'm not telling you to push it when you know that you're gonna break. I'm telling you to be smart about it and to push it. How do you be smart about it? Well, if you need to sleep, if you need to get that sleep, get it during that time. Instead of watching a movie, doing other things that may not be necessary, be smart and filter your time, select your time, be selective with your time and with the people around you. So think about it. How can you reduce that time and use it for sleep, for example, and then wake up at night and do your night prayers? and then do some more dhikr, extra dhikr, and then, I don't know, give some more. Think about how am I going to take from this account and give it on these nights. Is there an opportunity, for example, in my community? See, you have Thursday, Friday. This is within the last 10 days. Should I participate? Can I participate? Sure, you should participate. And okay, here is another extra deed that you can do. You can reach to God. You can get closer to God by doing that thing right there. See, a search or hunt for these opportunities that are going to connect you better and are going to make these 10 days worthy. Quran recitation. Okay, you have not been reading the Quran throughout this month. You know, join the daily basis. You know what? We have, on daily basis, we have readers from your community right here. We are doing it genuinely. We're doing it locally with our youngsters mainly. You know, we're getting them involved to read, you know, the Quran, and we are in the juz 20 now. We have read almost the whole Quran, 2/3 of the Quran that we have read. And unfortunately, let me tell you, we don't see many of you joining those sessions. I don't know why, but we don't see many of you joining those sessions. You should join if you don't. And now these last 10 days, you have an opportunity to join. So increase. If you already joined them, look forward to read a little bit more. If you can do another reading during these 10 days, hey, Bismillah, do it. That's amazing. This is one of the best way of ibadah, you know, to get engaged in reciting the Quran. We mentioned this from the beginning. From the Itqan of Imam Suyuti there, a hadith of Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam. The highest form of doing ibadah is to read the word of God, the Quran. If you can do it, Bismillah, do it. Increase your dhikr on daily basis. La ilaha illallah. Allahumma salli ala Sayyidina Muhammad. La hawla wa la quwwata illa billah. Astaghfirullah, for sure, asking for forgiveness on daily basis. So be smart about it. Utilize your time right. Put down, or if you need to write them down sometimes, it helps. Write it down. This is what I'm going to commit on daily basis. There is a lecture at night. There is a Quran reading every day at 5:30 p.m. There is a night prayer that I'm going to do it every single night. I'm going to reduce my time from wasting with the TV and people around me. And this is what I'm going to be doing on daily basis. And I'm going to increase my istighfar. I'm going to have some tears, because through all of this, I'm going to get closer to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. I'm going to look for other opportunities out there that people can benefit from me too. It's not just me benefiting from one-on-one connection with these ibadats that are individually performed. But now this ibadah is going to take another form where I have to, you know, be in touch with the others. I'm going to help the others. I'm going to do something for the others so I can benefit from that avenue as well, from that aspect as well. And individual efforts, kind of a community efforts to a certain limit, because we are under the coronavirus restrictions. But whatever I can do from that perspective, I'm going to benefit from that too. And this is how you can ripe the benefits during this blessed month of Ramadan, in the last 10 days of Ramadan. So I pray, all I can say is that I pray that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala makes you, me, and all the believers around the world among those who look forward for these opportunities to get the most that they can get, and they can reach that night of Qadr, and inshallah ta'ala their Ramadan is accepted. Let me see if we have any question. I don't think we are on Facebook Live tonight, but here we have a hadith that the sister has put, Sister Sadia has put. You can probably read to that one. Since it's a little bit long, I don't have time to go through all of that, but brothers and sisters, they can look into that one. All I say is that inshallah, everything is accepted, and I personally miss all of you, and I mean it. I really miss all of you. And wallahi, when I come here in the masjid, I'm right now in the masjid right here. I come many times, almost every day, and sometimes I see it empty. Sometimes, because I come during different times, and sometimes I come during the time when the brothers are actually helping out there, distributing the food for iftar, and it makes my day, you know, to see those faces who I'm used to see them not almost, but on daily basis pretty much, and they become like a family, and that's what I want you guys, you know, community members, I want you to understand that this is not just a community. This is not just any mosque. This is a mosque where we're trying to invest in souls. We're trying to invest in the individuals here. We're not here to show off. We're not here to pretend that, we're just doing something. Wallahi al-azim, we're here with the intention. A lot of these people that we have around us, they have good intentions. And, we're all trying to see that brotherhood and that connection between the community members. We need to strengthen that. And we need you as a community members to view it that way. So when you're called to participate in something, we don't want you to feel like, you know what, well, they're just calling, we don't have to respond. I want you to think as your own brother is inviting you. Like when your own brother would invite you for dinner, for example, you would not say, no, I don't want to, well, I'm going to reconsider it whether I want to go or not. And sometimes I'm not even going to inform you whether I'm going to come or not. See, that's not what we're trying to do here at this community. We're trying to reach on personal level here with individuals. We're trying to build a community based on these strong foundations. We don't believe that the typical, I don't want to say the typical mosques, but there are so many other mosques out there who, unfortunately, where there is not a connection between the community members and the leaders of the center. Here, we're trying to establish that. We're trying to, to connect with every single one of you on individual basis. And we want you to consider when we organize things, when we do things, we want you not to come as a guest or not to feel like you're an outsider and we're just providing things for you. As from inside, we're providing things for the outsider. No, you are all insiders. I want you to consider me as your brother. I want you to consider these board members as your brothers because they already do consider you as brothers and sisters. Wallahi, they all do consider, they love every single one of you. And they are striving here. They leave their families. They don't get paid here for doing what they're doing. But yet they're putting all of these efforts, so they can be with you, they can serve you. And so at least recognize this. And I think what they need is this recognition is not just to put a like on Facebook or to say, you know what, no, the recognition is for you to respond to them in the same way, to treat them as your brothers, to treat them as your sisters. That's the true recognition right there. And if you don't recognize that, if you treat them like, okay, they're just doing something there as leaders in the community board, whatever, let them do they're from the inside of the mosque, If you treat it like that, then you're missing the whole point. You're not returning the favor in the same way. And it's not the money, it's a humanity that we want from you. We're treating you as somebody who's close to us. We consider you as somebody who's from inside, and we want you to treat every single helper, every single board member, every single staff member at UICA as somebody who is your brother or your sister. Please take that in mind. Keep that in consideration. Once we're done with this coronavirus and we get back, inshallah, to our services, I want you to come with that mindset. Please take this advice from me. May Allah bless you. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah.